fly, tarot, and more. My name is Nancy. It'll be yet a few more minutes before I begin to share the message that I found, or the information that I found when I read Anthony Fauci's birth chart. At this point in time, I'm going to set up my live stream. If you follow me, you know that there's no way for me to set up my live stream before I begin, so I have to take some time prior to beginning my live stream to set it up. I hope that I remember to do everything necessary. At this time, I'm attempting to go to the page in which my stream is being shown. Okay, sound check is complete. So I think I've done everything. Okay. Yeah, I think I've done everything. If you follow me, you know I just stumbled across a new interest. And the interest is actually looking at the birth charts of the primary players on the current chessboard of our physical worldly experience. I started this series with Donald Trump. Not only did I cover Donald Trump and what his birth chart had to say about him and who he was on the soul level, then I also did Biden. Again, I started this series just by chance. I was curious, and so I looked and I found some interesting information. And so I said, well, why stop with them? Let me find out more about other key players on the chessboard of our current experience. I guess I especially wanted to know these people, especially on a soul level, because we're going through some interesting times, you know, historical times, precedent times. I think I'm saying that right. So I end up also interpreting Kamala Harris's birth chart. So today, as you may be able to see, I'm going to do Anthony Fauci. Let me talk a little bit about Anthony Fauci. I didn't know anything about Anthony Fauci. He came into my consciousness as a result of our current pandemic, and he is the American physician. He has been, I guess, like the physician, head physician that the government officials consult with. And so he has held a lot of power in talking about the COVID-19 or the VID. And he has made his suggestions that have an impact upon humanity. And so I wanted to know who he was on a soul level. So what did I do? Once again, I went to www.astrotheme.com and retrieved his birth chart. I can't validate that the birth chart is correct. I'm only using the tools that I have access to. And so what I am doing is I'm reading the birth chart that site offered for Anthony Fauci, and all the information that I offer in this video or any other video that I've already done of a similar manner is me interpreting the chart. It is not my personal viewpoints at all. And I say that because a few people really got mad at me and even unfriended me or unfollowed me or unsubscribed to me here on YouTube because of what I interpreted in Donald Trump's chart. So let it be known that what I share in this type of video, these type of videos, is not my opinion or my viewpoint. It is what I've interpreted from the astrological chart or natal chart that has been offered for any given person or key figure. So at this time, I want to start my introduction again and submit my personal plugs before I begin to read what I have here about Anthony Fauci. Once again, welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot and More. My name is Nancy, and as you can see, I'm here to read the or report my findings and report what I found in Anthony Fauci's natal chart, which is the birth chart or the story of his soul. If you're ever interested in, I guess I'm gonna get there. I'm of course a tarot reader. So if you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, you can do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. That information is below this live stream. I ask you to please like my video, to share my channel, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Now, at this time, without hesitation, I'm going to begin to read what I have here on Anthony Fauci. Remember, this is the story of his soul. I do apologize for the glare in my glasses. I changed my lighting, and it's not good, but that's all I have for right now. So, yeah, it's really... okay. So, I'm going to read directly from my notes if you follow me, and then I'll try to make it make sense along the way. Hello, how are you? The king of, you say the king of the bottomless pit? Okay, let's see. We're going to find out. Anthony Fauci. Now, facts about Anthony Fauci. Number one, his name is Anthony Fauci. He's an American physician. He was born December 24th, 1940. The time of his actual birth is unknown. So, another thing that, so when the time of a person's birth is not known, the exact time, it changes somewhat of the dynamics in the birth chart that's often offered. That is to say that I can't identify exactly what houses this information that I'm going to share with you sits in. When I say houses, I'm talking about the various stages of life, like identity or possessions or early influence or the tribal affiliation or when I did Kamala Harris, it really focused on the fourth house stage, which is the ancestral influence, the matriarchal influence, the homeland and different things like that. That's the stage. And so he doesn't have a exact time. So again, I can't tell you exactly what stage or area of life each of these details are playing out on. Nevertheless, I can still pull a storyline associated with his soul from his chart. Another fact about Anthony Fauci, based on www.astrotheme.com, is that he is a metal dragon. In Chinese astrology, he's a metal dragon. And so I wrote down some of the character traits of metal metal dragons. And here they are. Metal dragons are blunt, do works themselves if anybody else disagrees with them, meaning they just keep pushing on. If anybody agrees with them or go against them and you know, their hypothesis, they just get rid of them and they keep trudging right along. So he's blunt. He'll do the work himself if a person goes against them. They're very egotistical, opportunist, very intelligent, and they do not forgive once they have been insulted. And they can be a show off or a showsman, and they desire success. What was I just saying? Well, I was just sharing the various character traits or attributes of the metal dragon in Chinese astrology, which Anthony Fauci falls up under. Now, at this time, I'm going to begin to try to read the birth chart or the information that I accumulated from his birth chart. It says his birth chart begins focusing on his personal sense of physical, worldly security, stability, as well as the ability to pacify his wants, needs, desires, and urges. It says growth in such forms of prosperity as the direct result of his consciousness and awareness, his intellect. I'll make what I'm saying make sense. When I do these interpretations, I read my notes to spark my memory and then I talk about it. Okay. So far, what am I saying? I'm seeing Anthony Fauci's chart starts off with him being concerned about his physical, worldly sense of security and stability. He wants to live his best life possible, in short. And he realizes in the course of his life, comes to realize that in order for him to live that best life, that high quality of life, it is directly linked to or corresponds with his consciousness, his awareness, his intelligence. I read on. Especially surrounding predominant mindsets shared amongst his tribe and familiar spirits. What does that mean? Once again, Anthony Fauci becomes increasingly aware in order for him to obtain and sustain the quality of life that he so desires, requires him to be very intelligent. Not only does his intelligence is a necessary feature that he has to possess. It's also being aware of the his tribe he's associated with. His tribe. Let me stop. Let me digress for a minute. What complication am I facing now? The complication that I'm facing now is that I have multiple things going on in my head. So right now I'm going to share what the multiple things are that are taking place in my head while I'm trying to do this interpretation that may very well continue to be a complication as I share the information I found in his birth chart. The first things first, is that every month I consult the stars. I just look to see what possible events or may occur or energies we will deal with. Just in general, very general, every month, monthly astrological readings. Just recently, by chance, just in this last week, I began to look at these main figures, key players on our world scene, looking at them independently, looking at their birth chart, seeing the story associated with their soul. And what I realized is that as I interpret each of their birth charts, it corresponds with the overall astrological energies. An example is one of the interpretations I got out of my general reading of the stars, without taking anybody in consideration, just the energies that's flowing, is that we are in a time period where people that have achieved or have become experts in some field no longer want to help others that they deem subordinate or less than them. In times past, this specific group of people suffered through cognitive dissonance, meaning they believed in their hearts that they didn't have to use their expertise, their enhanced intellect to help, again, the common Jane or Joe or those that they deemed were less than them. That's how they really felt. But our system, with all of its laws and what do you call it, anti-discrimination laws, forced them to go against their own beliefs. And they were forced to assist and help and aid people that they deemed lesser than themselves. And they have done that. Our system has done that. And these people that are experts in various fields, again, have went against their own better judgment and helped those that they didn't want to. Astrological energies in general, this is one of the messages, said that no more. They don't want to do it anymore. Period. So, complication. Now that I've started reading the astrological birth charts or the natal charts for specific key players on our world stage now, I'm realizing that as I read for each of these people, whether it's Donald Trump, Biden, Kamala Harris, and now Anthony Fauci, it plays back into like those generalized astrological messages that I come up with. That is to say that, who was it that didn't want to help people? I can't remember. But it was somebody I read for. Oh, it was Joe Biden. Really doesn't want to help the lesser people. Kamala Harris don't want to help the lesser people. So that becomes the complication because I'm going to end up going back and forth in my mind trying to say, well, draw the correlation like, wow, that general message said that already. And this person fits there. Well, the same thing begins to happen with Anthony Fauci. And I realize the more people that I'm interpreting, the more it's happening. End of my digress. Going back and finishing with Anthony Fauci's birth chart. So we have Anthony Fauci, who comes into this world, and he is very aware that he's interested in living a particular quality of life, a high quality of life, actually. And that in order for him to do so, that he has to have a certain level of consciousness and awareness, that is to say, intellect. He's also aware that he has to fit in with a particular tribe. And that tribe is like, quote unquote, the superior tribe. He's aware of that. And so let me read my notes again and then I'll continue. It says his birth chart begins focusing on his personal sense of physical worldly security, stability, and the ability to pacify his own personal wants, needs, desires, and urges. He understands that in order to grow or get that type of prosperity, the satisfaction of the ability to be able to satisfy or pacify your urges and desires, that kind of prosperity, then is directly connected to his consciousness and awareness, his intellect, especially surrounding the predominant mindset, shared amongst his tribe or familiar spirits, those other experts that have a very excluding mindset. When I say excluding, remember, if you're not on their level, then you're excluded, period. And what sets this group of people apart, this particular tribe? Most of them are experts in some field. They consider themselves genius. They are usually very wealthy and socially affluent, and and all those type of things. If you don't fit in that bracket, then you are not a part of the tribe. So it's a very specific tribe. Anywho, so he's aware of that. He says, and the proximity or extent of the interest one is approved to care about and support. So what do I mean when I say that? Now, it's the tribe that I'm having difficulty defining, because what I'm finding in these various birth charts is that I'm not fully dealing with the physical realm. Although I am, of course. Everything manifests in the physical. But the majority of what is taking place is spiritual. And so I'm talking about more or less a spiritual tribe. Yes, they manifest here in the physical as wealthy, as experts, etc., etc. But it's the tribe, it's the spirit of the tribe. That is to say, if they're righteous or unrighteous. And in this case, this is an unrighteous tribe, or an evil tribe, or the devil's advocates. The devil's advocates, just like I say. And so that tribe, the devil's advocates, is what I'll call them for now on. It's an exclusive club. And Anthony Fauci knows that from birth, from the soul, that he has to be a part of this exclusive club that we now call the devil's advocates. And he also knows that there are rules that any member must abide by to stay affiliated or a part of the group that I now deem the devil's advocates. He's aware of this. He's aware that once a member of the club of the devil's advocates, there are only certain things that you can have an interest in. There are only certain beliefs, viewpoints, philosophies, goals, etc., that one can devote themselves to, invest in, and endorse. This is all that Anthony Fauci comes in this world understanding. This is his soul. It says, or I have written here then, next is, it is those specific groups. What groups? Remember, this is an exclusive club. The Devil's Advocates is an exclusive club, and they only care about, endorse, uphold, and support specific groups, clubs, interests, clusters, whether it's business, professional, personal, or personal partnerships. Very specific, very exclusive club. Very exclusive club in nature. That he and those like himself will vigorously and forcibly accompany, pursue, preserve, endorse, and support. Hopefully that made sense. At this time in my notes, I said, hey, tell the viewer about a couple of videos I did. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. But before I do, I'm going to summarize once again, because I don't know if I'm being clear or not. Anthony Fauci soul, as soon as it hits into the physical body, that is Anthony Fauci, it is aware that it has to abide by some very strict rules to be a part of this elite club, this very exclusive club that I've deemed the Devil's Advocates. Anthony Fauci wants to be a member. Why? Because he wants to ensure that he has a particular quality of life. Going back to the Chinese zodiac and the metal dragon, it says these people are interested in success. What else is by interested in success? They're very intelligent. They are showmen or show-offs, and they just are extremely desirous of success, very egotistical and opportunistic. Okay, so He knows it. In order to fulfill his desire, he came in this world because he was trying to fulfill the desire. That's why he's here. He understands that he has to, again, abide by these rules or the limitations or these boundaries associated with this club, this Devil's Advocate group. And those rules and policies and regulations and things like that he must abide by, say he can only engage or interact with very particular people. And those particular people are also part of that Devil's Advocate Club. They are members as well. He understands that he can't go outside of the perimeter or proximity of their rules. That is to reach out and deal with anybody else outside of the group. He's aware that he has to support them and they him. And they can endorse each other, but nobody else. They have an allegiance and an oath to the Devil's Advocate. I got to think of what it is. Agenda. Devil's Advocate agenda. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And he's aware, again, I think I need to point this out, is that Anthony Fauci's natal chart lets us know that there are multitudes of clubs and groups and organizations that exist within the construct of our world. And it's like what do you call it? A fraternity and or sorority and or again exclusive club or network. And so he understands that he has to work within the interlinkings of this network and can never go outside of it. Okay. Anyway, the videos that I've done in previous times that I want to refer you to are one video I made was called "Can You Sell Your Soul to the Devil?" I made that maybe 3 years ago. You might want to check that out to get an understanding of what Anthony Fauci was confronted with, not only in this life, but in the past life. Another video that I like to refer you to so you can get an understanding about these clubs that I'm talking about, these Devil Advocate exclusive clubs, is you can also locate the video that I made called "So What's Now?" A look at the astrological messages. Okay, and the time stamp is offered in the show more section, and you can click on this time stamp to begin to help you understand the Devil's Advocate and their club and the way they work amongst each other. And that's at the 33.33 mark, something like that. Okay, so I continue to read. It's going to get better, y'all. Just ride the wave with me, if you will. Thank you for dropping by here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more, and entertain me, sharing the messages that I found in Anthony Fauci's natal chart, birth chart. It says, over the course of his life, whose life? Anthony Fauci's life. As he pursues any and all goals to offer him the means to satisfy his worldly needs, desires, and urges, there have been recurring events over and over again, circumstances and situations over and over again, that resulted in him receiving increased understanding on the aforementioned subject matter of social bias. I don't think I wrote that very well. I was in my own mind. What am I saying? Those videos, hello, how you doing, sis? I'm okay. Those previous videos that I made that I referred you to, the second one, So What's Now? I begin to talk about the social biases that exist in our world, and I share my personal story. And so, what am I saying? Because the Devil's Advocates, this exclusive group of Devil's Advocates, overall character trait of the group and the members that make up the group are that they are socially biased. Remember, they're not doing business or interacting or engaging with anybody that is not on their level. They are socially biased. So, over the course of Anthony Fauci's life, even past life, long before he even got here in this physical reality that we're sharing in, he had already started this journey. And so when he came into this physical reality that we're all sharing, he brought that same desire and urge in. He was still in pursuit of what? Joining this exclusive group, the Devil's Advocates. And so in his last life, his previous life, as well as this one, I forgot how old is Anthony Fauci, to tell you how long he's been going through this. He was born in 1940. See, he's 80 years old. Am I counting that right? 1940 plus 60 more years to 2000 plus 20 is 80. 80 years, if I'm counting right, just in this time. Over and over again, various circumstances and situations and events have cropped up in his life that, like, kept asking him the same question over and over again. Anthony, are you sure? Are you sure that you want to take your level of mastery, intelligence, and expertise and take an oath to the devil's exclusive club of the devil's advocates and, you know, have this allegiance to them? Are you sure? It has happened over and over again over the 80 years of his life plus his past life. I'm trying to make this make sense. And over again, this is the key right here. Anthony Fauci said, yes, I am willing to continue to move forward. I am going to be a full-fledged member of the Devil's Advocates. I, Anthony Fauci, will be a Devil's Advocate. Let me try to break it down because I'm not sure if I'm making it make sense or not. I be trying not to give out the end result too early. But I feel like it's necessary because it may help me explain what I picked up in Anthony Fauci's chart. Anthony Fauci is another person just like you and I, who has had his series of lives, and his desire for success and comforts in whatever life he lives is so great that he sold his soul to the devil. He didn't sell his soul to the devil like overnight. It has been generations of slowly committing himself to Satan, to the dark side, to the devil's advocates. And so this last little paragraph I read refers to that slow progression in which he forged his allegiance to the dark side. That's what it talks about. It was a slow, that's tripped me out. It's been a slow progression in which he had forged his allegiance to the dark side. That is to say that at any given time in that past life or in the earlier parts of this life, he could have rejected Satan or the evil or the dark side and relinquished his drive for fame and success or the pursuit of it, and would renounce Satan. But he did not. He could not. He was led by his desires, his urges, and his ego. So he intentionally sold his soul to the devil. And so that's why I referred you to the video I made some years ago that answers the question, can you sell your soul to the devil? In that video, I talked about my own personal opportunity to sell my soul to the devil. And I got a lot of views on that one. I'm so appreciative. And it was more well received than I thought it would be. I thought, and to some degree I was correct, that people don't believe that an old common Jane, such as myself, or a common Nancy, a black woman, a fat woman, a person from the inner city without no pool or, you know, nothing like that, no minimal finances to sell, would be offered to sell their soul to the devil. But in that video, I talked about that moment that the devil came and asked me, did I want to sell my soul to him? And I was like, I say in the video, I respectfully decline. Number one, I didn't know it was going to come. I respectfully, look, 7 days. I respectfully declined. I did. I declined. And at that time that the devil offered to fully buy my soul, to make me conscious, like he's real, and the offer is always on the table. How can I say? Just like Anthony Fauci, it was a progressive move. It was every single time I lived out a life experience or an event. It was how I handled these various life events and experiences, that every step along the way I was saying yay to or nay to if I was going to sell my soul. I'm going to try to clarify that. I'll try to breeze through it real quick because y'all know I've been trying to short my videos, not being too successful. In that video, I talked about how the devil came to me and offered me my own personal kingdom. I'm not sure if I talked about which kingdom in detail in that video because I came back and made another video about can you sell your soul to the devil, like a part 2. But he offered me a kingdom. And when he offered me the kingdom, I wasn't shocked because I already had dominion or activity over that kingdom. Always had. And the kingdoms was over old people, children, well, old people, teens, children, and babies. And I was like, I don't want no more of it. I was being somewhat sarcastic. I had enough. I done had enough in the course of my life. But you can go watch those videos because I really go into detail about how I felt. I told y'all I was insulted when the devil asked me that. You know, so anyway, since that was always a part of my life, every time I chose how I was going to deal with a circumstance, situation, or scenario involving seniors, teens, children, and babies, was my answer to his question. You gonna sell your soul to me or not, Nancy? Well, if I did something that was righteous when interacting with a senior or a teenager or a child or a baby, my answer to the devil was no. Just in my actions. But if I ever along the way in the course of my life had did something unrighteous when a senior was my responsibility, or unrighteous when a teenager was my responsibility, or a child or an infant, then my answer to Satan would have been yes. Okay? And in that video, I talk about when the moment that the devil came face to face with me and asked me, I had already been telling him no the whole time. But I guess he felt compelled to just come and say, let me go to this fool so she'll know that this is an offer. And I was like, no, still, you know. So, anywho, what do I talk about my own personal story for? It's because Anthony Fauci dealt with the same thing over and over again. Now, he's an American physician. So, every time he was coming up through his profession, whatever course he had to take to get where he is, there were consistently these questions about, or this question to Anthony Fauci, are you going to sell your soul to me? And every single time Anthony Fauci said yes. I hope that I'm making this make sense. Would suggest that his work, his whole career path is full of violations against people, humans. Do you get what I'm saying? The whole time. Everything he's ever done. He vowed every step of the way to Satan that that he wanted to sell his soul to him, and he wanted to be a member of the exclusive Devil's Advocate Club. Period. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, I'm gonna go on. Sky, much healing energy to you. Hope. Hey, hope all is well. Since the last time I was on here, my precious mom died of COVID-19 on December 20th, 2020. My condolences to you, Sky. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. And I'm heartbroken and hurt. I'm still searching for answers. Wow. If I find any answers, Sky, I definitely will make a special video in order to answer them. Again, I'm sorry to hear that, and my condolences to you for the loss of your mom. That is so crazy. Yeah, this time period is nuts. It's really nuts. The smokes like me. There are only a few that will not sell out regarding how many offer to. That's very true. And I'm after this, I got a couple of other ones I've done. I want to go talk about these figures that's just like been they seem like thrust into the limelight since all of this COVID stuff has started. I'm going to focus on them. I even pulled up a listing of the top billionaires in the world, and I said I'm gonna do them to see who they are. Uh, and then I'm going to go out and look at find out who the military general is after the 20th of this month, and whoever's in office and they are holding their seat. I'm gonna find out who the generals are, and I'm gonna look up them. If I can find any information on them, if I can find a birth chart on them, I'm gonna look that up too. Because after I found out that information about Donald Trump and Joe Biden, when I say my curiosity has been sparked, I mean it. Thank you. I appreciate you. You are welcome, and I will try to stay safe. I've been trying. My kids have been jeopardizing me because these youngsters just can't keep still. They can't act like they can't keep still, but neither do they care. You know, they pretty new. They ain't damaged their body yet, so they might not be as susceptible to the threat, and so they can't feel me over here. Okay. So I was, let me read some more. Oh, at this time, well, I'm going to read the last paragraph I have written here. Then I'm going to read the definition or the description of what social bias is, just for the record. I Googled it. I don't even know, what site was I on? The site I was on when I give this description of social bias is from www.mostlyscience.com. And so before I read that description, I'm reading the previous paragraph I have written here, and I've already went over it. It says, over the course of his life, Anthony Fauci's life, he pursued any and all goals that will offer him a means to satisfy his worldly needs, wants, and desires and urges. There have been reoccurring events, circumstances, and situations that result in him receiving increased understanding on the aforementioned subject matter of social bias. So he always knew that he was selling out, you know, that he had to be biased or unjust or unrighteous in some way. And every time he said yes. Now, as far as the definition or description of what social bias is, so we'll know. Social bias, as defined or described by mostlyscience.com, says, is also known as attribute. How can I know a word one day and not the next? Attributional error occurs when we unwittingly or deliberately give preference to, or alternatively to look negatively upon certain individuals, groups, races, sexes, etc. Due systematic errors, maybe it's supposed to be due to systematic errors that arise when people try to develop a reason for the behavior of certain social groups, etc., etc. I didn't finish writing it. You can go check that out if you want to get a clearer understanding of what social bias is. So, what do we know about Anthony Fauci so far? We know he's very desirous, and he is full of ego, and all he has is an interest in satisfying his own physical, worldly wants, needs, and desires. He wants a high quality of life. He wants to be rich. He wants to be among the rich and famous and the powerful and the influential. He's aware, in order to fit into that circle, the initial requisite that he must fulfill, he has to be highly intelligent and proficient, even a genius in some area, and he could accomplish that. It seems like it has taken him more than one lifetime to get there, but he is there. And now he sits with those head devil advocates, and every time he continues to go up and taking these oaths, and now he has gotten there. He's actually a member of this devil's advocate exclusive group. And when I say devil's advocate, yes, they are in the physical. They are physical people. But the actual group or tribe, the devil's advocate, is actually a spiritual soul group. They are what we call in the world, in religion, the for real Satan's people, the devil's advocates, the unrighteous, the evil, the demons, the devils, etc., etc. And so it go on. It says Fauci's ego, and I have ego highlighted, and I'll come back to that in a moment, and self-esteem and self-worth has continued to evolve as he has continued to acquire wealth, prosperity, and all the privileges that accompanies such levels of accomplishment and financial gain. What am I saying? I'm saying, hey, Anthony Fauci was not always secure, emotionally secure, or as far as identity secure. He was not always secure, especially in that past life. He has worked hard, I mean diligently, to fit again with this devil's advocate group. And the reason why he wants to fit in the devil, he needed to be in the devil's advocate group because it ensured him that he would never ever lose his privilege, his prestige, his prominence, his wealth. And so he took the ultimate oath. Anywho, so in the course of his lives, he has continued to, I'm gonna say, go up that ladder of success through lives, up, like an uphill battle, literally. And every single time he reaches a level of like financial security, or a level of prosperity or wealth or network building or whatever the case may be, his self-esteem has increased and his ego as a direct result. You know, so it almost seems like you can imagine him starting over like a scared little slumped over child, and now after at least 2 lifetimes, he's standing upright at the age of 80, full of himself. Full of himself, but not completely full. And let me tell you why I don't believe that he's completely full of himself, but yet is completely given over to the dark side, is because, again, remember I pulled up a list of the 20th wealthy people in the world. He's not even on the list. Remember, his ultimate goal is to accomplish full prosperity and wealth, abundance. He ain't even in the top 20. So he still has motivation to still suck up to the dark powers. You know what I'm saying? He still will continue to suck up to the dark powers because he's still climbing this ladder, even at 80 years old, constantly pledging his allegiance to him. He is now a part of the exclusive club of the devil's advocate, but he's not even in the top 20. He's still climbing. So he still has motivation. All right. So I got that. Okay, I want to talk about the ego a little more. I tried to talk about the ego in Kamala Harris's and Joe Biden's natal chart. You know, the initial, because this is all new to me, y'all. This is all new to me. I'm sharing what I'm learning with y'all. These whole concepts are new to me. When I talk about this is new, I'm talking about the whole concept of the soul within people. I knew it existed because I experienced it. I got it myself. I talk about my double-headed dragon, so I already know. I've seen it in others, engaged the spirits within. I already know. I told y'all in 2019, I said, hey, in 2020, we about to see, we going to be dealing face-to-face with people's cohabitating spirits within them. I already know. But I didn't know here a year or so later, I would be sitting here and actually experiencing these, you know, people's spirits, or being able to see the essence of their spirits through me reading their birth charts. I didn't know I was going to do it, you know, so it's a whole new concept to me. Anywho, I gotta get the understanding or a way to articulate clearly what the ego is. based on my new findings, through these birth charts and stuff, it suggests that the ego is some type of demonic spirit, or a spirit that's more prone to demonic possession, or the dark side, or indulging in the dark side. And a person has to be masterful in order to harness, hold the reins of the ego. If the ego is left without being reined in, it will take a person to the dark side. And so I got to figure out how to do that, because this ego thing keeps coming up, and it keeps showing that is where evil sits. That's what I'm saying. That is where evil sits, and it attaches itself to us while we're in these physical bodies. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know if it does. I'm about to continue with the remainder of Anthony Fauci's birth chart, and then I'll be up out of here. Okay. So I talked about how his ego and his self-esteem is continuously elevated in direct relationship to his accomplishments in this world. But he hasn't fully hit his highest potential. Why? He ain't even in the top 20 richest people in the world. Okay. I just have written here, he sold his soul to the devil. Okay. The next thing is his day-to-day routine and all that he had to do to satisfy the demands of life, man, and of God, the God that he worshiped, is mostly concealed from the world. This was kind of scary to me. Is mostly concealed from the world to people, organizations, and or non-affiliated social constructs, undisclosed activities, and works from non-affiliates. What does that mean? I'm saying all the works that Mr. Fauci has performed in past life and this life is not no. What are y'all doing? Excuse me. What are y'all doing? They make me get up from this table at this time of night. I'ma turn up. Pearl, what are y'all doing?
What do you mean?
I hear somebody outside the house.
Oh, when did I hurry?
Who?
This one.
Oh, you locked that door up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, y'all going in the room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for dinner too. Yeah, I heard a lot of moving around. That's being a mother. All my senses is heightened. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, it's saying the works that he has done from day to day, all the duties that he has attended to, people don't know about. You know, like even the members of the Devil's Advocate. Remember, if a person disagrees with Anthony Fauci at any given time, he dismisses him, and he continues to work steadfast by himself. He's on a mission. So there are even members that at times, that may have been a part of the Devil's Advocate members, or pursuing to having membership, that he may have dismissed or closed out of his world. So there are a lot of works and creations or research that he's done that people don't know about, at least temporarily. I say that as an indirect result to the club. Eventually they know, because they are his gods. They are that's the god. The head of that club is the god that he worshiped, which is Lucifer, the devil. So eventually he lets them know everything. But then talk about everybody else, the general populace, every other normal human being in the past life and in this life have no idea what he has done. No idea what he has done. And then it's another level. Remember, he has taken an oath to the powers that govern over the Devil's advocates. They give him orders to fulfill. He's a member. They give him orders to fulfill. So when the head Devil's advocates, the powers in the group of the Devil's advocates, tell Anthony Fauci to do something, Anthony Fauci does it. And guess what? Nobody knows that these commands came from these powers. Hopefully I'm making it make sense. Make it make sense. I think the thing that we should be concerned about is that a lot of his activities are undisclosed to us. You know, again, he is governed by social bias. That was a mandatory under the regulations of that particular tribe or group. I'm talking about the Devil's Advocates. And so who knows, just in this lifetime, over his 80 years here, what he has done to patients. Who knows? You know what he has done, because what? It's covert, it's hidden, it's undisclosed, etc., etc. But it was all to what? Make sure he had favor and could be a solidified member in this exclusive club of the Devil's Advocates. And so that's what it talked. The last paragraph I read talked about. I'll go on and read what I have written here. It is just a note, so it may not make sense. After I read the note and trigger my memory, then I'll interpret what I have written here means. As for any and all authorized partnerships meaning they are part what of their very intimate or exclusive social network, the Devil's Advocate Club. So as for any and all authorized partnerships, whether they're business, professional, or personal, are the only relationships that he focuses. That Fauci will engage, right, for the rest of his life. Total social bias. So what am I saying here? I'm saying I never looked to see if Anthony Fauci was married or tried to do any background check as far as his relationships. But whomever he is intimately interacting with or engaged to or committed to is also a part of that Devil's Advocates group. Whoever he does business with is a part of that Devil's Advocate group, their network. Remember, it's all over the world. It's in every sector of life. These are people who have pledged an allegiance to Satan, period. Their loyalty is to each other, and never, ever, this is one of the stipulations, never, ever goes outside of their exclusive network. I got to stop here and go back to earlier when I was saying, hey, complication that I'm running into is I'm seeing these astrological stories or themes overlapping. If you follow me, where did we hear that same concept, is that the group or clubs are exclusive and they do not include anybody outside of their network? We first found it with Biden. We found it in the general star readings, astrological readings. But when I started doing the birth charts, we first found it with Biden. I identified in Biden's birth chart that he was the dragon. Well, I said Satan, Lucifer. He's the dragon, as talked about in the King James Version Bible, and how he gives his power to the beast, who is Kamala Harris. Back at Joe Biden says, I am here to create this exclusive club. And this exclusive club is what I have deemed or coined in order to try to, keep the story where I can give it to you, where you understand it. The Devil's Advocates. It's an exclusive club. I'm talking about a real life spiritual club. This is a spiritual tribe I'm talking about. Biden is over it. Anthony Fauci is a part of that club as well now. Again, it has taken lifetimes and decades, centuries even, for him to become a full-fledged member. But yet he still has some growing up in the ranks of this social group, because, again, he's not even one of the top 20 richest people in the world. And that's his aim. Okay, what was I saying? I got all over. Oh. I was saying last and talking about how whatever interaction, social interactions he has with anyone, it is limited to other members of this soul group, the Devil's Advocates. What they all have in common is they practice social bias. Yup, see, it's a secret society in the physical world. It does manifest into a secret society that crosses all what do you call it, career paths or academic disciplines and interdisciplinary fields, but it's still and yet a secret society. And next it says the emotional response of others to Fauci's participation, contribution, and physical presence are emotional bonds. What am I saying? I'm saying, okay, remember, Fauci is one of the members in this exclusive spiritual club, and they have a bond. It is a deep, unshakable, unbreakable emotional bond. That's what so what am I saying? They say what I'm saying here, and what I just read and going to continue to read, is that I'm talking about how the other members relate to Fauci. It is what they accept him as their own, as a brethren to that fraternity or secret society of the Devil's Advocate Club. He is one of their own. Their bond is unbreakable. It's a spiritual bond. It says these emotional bonds have been forged as a direct result of their minds, their mentalities, behaviors, and views, etc. They are a tribe of familiar spirits. Tribe of familiar spirits. It says, in this tribe of familiar spirits, I'm talking about the club, the exclusive club Anthony Fauci belongs to, which I deem what? Uncoined the Devil's Advocates. Okay. It says, in this tribe of familiar spirits, all the members also share in philosophies, beliefs, worldviews, ambitions, and reaching a particular final destination. I repeat, they share in reaching a particular final destination. Or the promised land. Remember I made the video about the promised land of milk and honey? Okay. But it's just for a few. See? I'm going to stop right there and add this here. Referring back to that video I did not know it was going to relate to my findings. I didn't know. That was kind of me just ranting, but it fits. And what was I sharing in that particular video where I was talking about how I was upset because I wasn't benefiting from my work, and I looked back and over history and realized Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and all them people never got no real life blessings. They got dead and never made it over, and Moses never made it over into the promised land, where the advancements in technology are applied and practical, and it's changing and enhancing and simplifying the lives of the people that exist at that time. You know, I didn't know that. So, okay, now it applies. We here. We still on our way to the promised land, and the promised land that we're headed to. Now, the promised land is supposed to take care of all the people. I guess I should say that. The promised land is supposed to take care of all the people in humanity that exists during any period of time. But the promised land that we're headed to, there's going to be those advancements in technology, and it is going to actually not be beneficial to the people overall. You know, like the majority of the people, the general populace, those that don't have an enhanced level of intellect or any special skills or are not experts, is not going to benefit us. But it's going to be a destructive force used upon us. And so Anthony Fauci's chart talks about that and refers to that, and it lets us know that this final destination that him and his club members are headed to, or leading people to, is going to be only for a few. the benefits of it, the richness of it, the blessings of it, the abundance of the promised land will only be for a few. And Anthony Fauci is going to be one of those few. Okay, the next thing is, I'm almost done, y'all. Thank you for coming here to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more, and allowing me to share what I picked up or interpreted from Anthony Fauci's natal chart. Okay, the next thing is Fauci and the other tribe members philosophies, beliefs, worldviews, ambitions, and shared destination. What am I saying? Because I know I'm not saying it real clear. It ain't even written here on this paper clear. I'm saying, okay, we talking about Anthony Fauci and all the rest of the members of the Devil's Advocate crew. You know, they all share in what? Philosophies, beliefs, worldviews, etc., etc. We talking about them beliefs that they share and stuff. In that final destination they trying to get everybody to is deemed successful in satisfying when he, Anthony Fauci, or they, the whole club or group, are able to manipulate the status of others' physical worldly experience in the way they deem fit, as well as enhance or enrich the quality of their own lives. What am I saying there? I'm saying Anthony Fauci and his crew feel like their mission has been accomplished when they get over in that promised land, and it's then suppressed or oppressed the people in the way that they deem fit, and they also then benefited or enhanced their own personal lives. Their mission is successful, and it's time for them to celebrate. Let's see what else. Still talking about the same thing about how their beliefs and philosophies are justified or successful, is and are also, oh my God, every time, able to freely and openly move among themselves and exchanging vital information with the tribe without any restrictions and or secrecy or pushback. And that goes back into the secret society concept. They want exclusive, free-range social networking, unabridged communication, absent from any concern about the leakage of vital information in their plans. So, back to what you share, Camille, about secret societies. So, let's talk about the secret society a little bit in relationship to Anthony Fauci and the spiritual club that he belongs to, which are the Devil's Advocate, a real live spiritual group that has manifested here in the physical. It is made up of members that are highly intelligent, very passionate. They're experts in their field, some even geniuses. They have advanced us in technology, medicine, and science, etc., etc. They are help. Oh, I ain't gonna jump because I almost gave something away that I saw at the end. I think it's in this one. And how they have had to work under wraps or covertly. Again, these people are in every academic discipline or career path you can list or think of. But you don't know who because we don't know who because we on the outskirts of that group. We don't fit. They don't interact with us. They don't engage with us. But they also don't want us to know anything that they have going on. They do everything in secrecy. They perform in secrecy. Again, very covertly. They will know that their mission is successful. What? When they get people where they want them and they can do to them as they will, and when they are able to enhance their life and their wealth and prosperity, they know their mission is successful. Another way that they know their mission is successful is when they no longer have to be secret societies, when they no longer have to be in the dark, when they no longer have to worry about infiltration or the leakage of their plans or advanced information. That's when they know they have really been successful. When they can walk freely in the world and acknowledge each other. And there's nobody to challenge them, to push back or cause any blue tape or bureaucracy or anything that can block them from their the fulfillment of their shared vision for the world and for their life. Hopefully that made sense. Okay. After this, it is over, y'all. Did I do it in under an hour? Probably not, because I kept saying the same thing over and over and over. Oh, just a little over an hour. I almost did, y'all. Okay. This is the last thing. Okay, we talked about being an exclusive, unchecked, rerank. It says each of the people that compose the spiritual tribe that I talk about, or this secret society, or these I deem the Devil's Advocates exclusive club. Each are the creme de la creme in an academic field, or the academic field. They are experts. These people are influential. They are chiefs. They are essential in the development of the New World Order. What am I saying? I'll come back to that in a minute. Let me finish reading. They are also very violent, aggressive, self-righteous. They are, many of them are our leaders and will be our leaders. They are domineering and controlling. Okay. So what I want to point out in that last little bit of information is how these are the people. Hi, I am. Are you live? Is this pre-recorded? I'm live right now. Right now, Eastern Standard Time is 1:30 a.m. in the morning on January 19th of 2021. Welcome into the house. And what I'm doing, or I have been doing, and I'm almost finished, is I was sharing my findings about Anthony Fauci's soul and what he is coming to this world to do and what he's contributing into humanity. The last thing I'm going to turn your focus to is how these people, these various members of the secret society, are the very members that are actually developing the structure of the New World Order. Remember, and I know if you follow me, you know, we are in a New World Order. And ever since this pandemic stuff started, the New World Order has been under construction. We have, the whole world has been held up by a scaffolding system. An example of the scaffolding system, I have a video out here, it's called New World Order Under Construction or something, is that of like stimulus checks and unemployment and, you know, being an essential worker. All of these things have been the scaffolding system to hold up humanity while they make this transition. That is to say, the actual structure of our reality and our construct is underdeveloped. The real, what do you call it, buildings or constructs or structures, long-standing structures that will be our new world is being developed by their design. Hopefully that made sense. Again, thank y'all all for coming here to Can Angels Fly and allowing me to share my findings about Anthony Fauci's birth chart. Please like this video. Please like this video. I really appreciate it. Please share my channel with somebody, anybody. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Is there anything else I should say? Maybe Happy New Year's, Happy birthday, and I don't know what else I could say, but bye.